want to go back to you being a legal secretary. There may be somebody out there that is working 5 days a week, working in an office, doing whatever, the regular 9 to 5 job, and they need to hear this, that they can,
Yes,
if they
yes.
want to do something else, they can do it, because you were working 5 days a week. Then I remember, I think you started to slowly transition. You started to just going 2 or 3 days a week, right?
I started at 4. I
Okay.
backed down to 4 days a week, and I think I did that for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 2 years, I jumped off and I did part-time, 3 days a week.
When you got to that spot where you resigned, how how did that come about? When you said, "Well, I don't need to do this anymore. I'm gonna give this up," because a lot of people are uncomfortable doing that, because it's like, I had a secure job, I had my benefits, I had this. Now I'm stepping out.
Yes. I do a workshop called Don't Sleep on Your Day Job, Pathway to Entrepreneurship. And I think that, I always knew that that's what I wanted. I saw that the firm that I was at, the culture was changing. And I knew that as the culture was changing, it was going to be harder for me to have that job and build my own business. It was going to come to the point very soon where I had to make a choice. So
Right.
instead of waiting for them, I stepped out there. The first thing that I did, and I definitely want to encourage people, that if you're in a marriage, your spouse has got to be there with you on
They
this.
have to be on board.
They got to be on
He
board.
has to be on board.
Have to be on board. What I did, and it depends on your spouse. Your spouse might be the kind that you want to bring it to them over dinner, in candlelight or whatever. My guy, I knew my husband, man, friend was only going to be dealing with numbers. And so it took me a little time to figure out what my finances would look like if I was able to devote my every day, 7 days. Because by then I was devoting 4 days to my own business and 3 days to somebody else's. Okay. And so I was, starting to step down. And I had kind of weaned myself from the money, and even for me to have the manager that I did, Deb, that would allow that. When people found out that I was working, what did I work? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? They was like, no way. You get 4-day weekend every week, And my manager's manager sent an email to both of us, and she was like, do you understand that you're giving her that she's going to be out 4 days, every week? And my manager said yes. And that again is just God. When he placed me at that job back in
that's God's favor.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, I just talked to my manager the other day. We are still friends. We even leave the call with, I love you, girl, and when I presented it to my husband, I did a projection, and I said, this is what I think I can do, but I need you on board, and helping him to understand that, W-2 money is not the same as, entrepreneur money. You get a lot more flexibility as far as how you spend your money, when you pay the government, as opposed to being a W-2, and, government's going to get their money before you ever see it. You get a little bit more flexibility, and of course you got to have, bookkeeper and stuff like that. But that is what I did. I stepped down, got my partner, my husband to agree. And then I resigned. You got to be ready. I wasn't ready, like, a few years before then, because people get this idea in their head, like, I'm going to do this. Don't leave your day job.
That was about to say, because you transition. It's not like, okay, you had something already going and with your business, and you waited you felt you were at a good spot with your business to leave this other one. It's not just, I want to do this. You quit your job and then you have nothing.
Exactly. Or if it doesn't work, I mean, it's like, the other blessing that I had, and this is something that individuals really need to consider when they're going off on their own, is, what insurance are you going to have? One good thing about having a W-2 spouse is that your insurance, you're insured. Because if you're going to lose the insurance and the job, that could be not so good.
Right.
And the other thing that I say is that if you want to leave your job, hey, just ask that person in HR, if I was to leave my job, what benefits could I take with me? You'd be surprised how many. I have long-term disability, Deb. I have short-term disability that I took from my job at group rates. And you don't know many entrepreneurs that if something happens to my hands, I guess people have like Aflac, I have like one of those kinds of things, and I have the long-term disability. That's because I asked the question. They might not even tell you.
And what you say here is key, because even though God was blessing you, you still were doing your part in asking the right questions, making sure certain things were in place before you just move on. You were being very responsible about your transition or exiting from corporate America to doing your own stuff.
Yeah.
And then one of the things I think people may have missed is that you were Sister Locks. You started in the United States, and then you went to Panama and you introduced Sister Locks to Panama. And you opened up your Sister Locks shop there also.
Yep, I did, and I still have it. I have a studio in in Panama, and what I ultimately wanted to do is to teach women in Panama to do interlocking. Not Sister Locks. Interlocking, Sister Locks is a trademark by Dr. Joanne Cornwell. And the only way you can teach Sister Locks or do Sister Locks is to go through that corporation. But interlocking is something that's similar. It's the interlocking is the maintenance on Sister Locks. So you can teach people to do that. And I want to work with Panamanian sisters and help them, because it's a very lucrative business. Locks is a very lucrative business. So that's kind of my direction there. I've partnered with a women's organization called MUSEC, MUCEC, and they're in Cologne. And they're going to provide me with, Afro-Panamanian women in Cologne that, want to do natural hair or are doing natural hair. And I'm doing mentoring and coaching for free. That's the other thing about God, is that, he gives you enough that you're not always so worried about giving stuff away for free.
You have to give back.
You
that's
do.
part of it. That is part of it. That is
yes, you do. Panama has been very generous and very kind and good to me. So what I'm always trying to figure out is, what can I do for Panama? And so whatever your part is, whatever your mission is. I love women. At a long time ago, I had to, define what my purpose is. And I think that your purpose is defined a lot when you figure out what your passion is.
Yes.
That thing that either makes you really mad or make you really happy. That thing that takes you here, and it's women. I love my sisters. I do. I do. And there's so much that begins with us, Deb. I mean, even men, we give birth to them too.
Yes.
Yes. And it is. And it's like, not to say that we need to try to do, things that are for the kings to do, but the queen definitely has her place. And women I've been in sales a few times, and I know one thing: if I want to sell something, I need to talk to the lady of the house. Because a lot of times they're the ones that are making those decisions for the household. We make a difference when women are whole, and women are, really just being able to see the beauty that we are. So much around us is better. They used to say, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Yes,
Happy
yes,
wife, happy life.
yes,
It's true.
yes,
To see and embrace your beauty is powerful. It's powerful. And always God is a part of that. God is a part of that. And God will allow you to see that kind of stuff because that is how he sees you.
yes,
And as you grow closer in your relationship with him, what happens is you attract different kind of people, and you attract people that are always going to be, encouraging your heart, and and he gives you the ability to discern who you need to cut off, because there's some people in our life that I got siblings that I do not speak to, you know straight up. It's not anything that I'm proud of. It's not something that it's not that I don't love them dearly. And I never want to see anything but good in their life, but there's some times that you just can't get confused with relatives.
right.
It's about their intention towards you,
Yes.
and their heart, and what energy they're bringing to you, and what kind of spirits they leaving in your house. And at the end of the day, you got to guard that. You got to guard that. You have to guard
Yes.
your peace.
Yes.
Getting back to that Beach Boulevard in Biloxi, Mississippi, ever since I've known that peace, I have been greedy for it. I want that peace. I want that peace. And I'm very sensitive to when people, places, and things disturb that. And I will cut you off and look, pray for you from a distance.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Definitely, we can see how God has brought you through from back in the day, 1993, when he spoke to you, to where you are today, all the things that you're doing. What I always say is, whatever God gives us are gifts, and the gifts that we have is not for ourselves, is to give others. And
Yes.
you always do that in so many ways. God has really blessed you in so many ways. And I've just known you maybe 18 years or whatever, and I've seen so many things that you have done through these 18 years. You keep growing and doing and exploring, and that's a good thing. That's really a beautiful thing. And so I do thank you for sharing your story with us, and knowing that it will inspire someone. It will inspire some woman, some man today that is feeling hopeless and feeling, hey, I'm nobody. I can't accomplish anything. I have this addiction. You may have a stronghold today, but that stronghold
Yes.
is not going to hold you forever. You need to know that you can go to God right now
Yes.
and turn it over to God, and you're going to see God start performing miracles in your life. The same way how he did it for Chai, he'll do it for anybody else. God is
That's
not exclusive. He is inclusive. Anybody can come to him, and that's the beauty of God.
That's the beauty. And Deb, I'm glad that you say that, because right now, and we're in COVID, we're going through this pandemic, and, there's a lot of people out there today who you may not even know, that are going through despair, the depression. Depression is something that leads to so many other things. We've had a lot of time on our hands. Like last year, 2020, we had probably more time on our hands than we've had in our adult lives ever, right? And I think that it was just say the devil's workshop is
Yes.
an idle mind,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and I feel like depending on how you took and how you use that COVID period when we were in like show enough lockdown, it could be affecting you right now. It's either meaning like for me, I built businesses. I built businesses during COVID.
Yes.
But there are some people that are watching this today who gave into addictions.
Mhm.
There are some people watching this today that probably had gotten off of drugs, you
Yes.
know, and left some of their bad habits. And then with COVID, was just so in despair
Mhm.
that they probably start picking stuff up.
Yes.
And so I just pray that my story, and I thank you so much, you know, for what you're doing and for being a spiritual cheerleader that you are. And I pray that people are hearing the message that God is always the answer.
Yes.
Just always the
Always.
answer.
Always.
Always the
Always
answer.
the
He is
answer.
always the
And there's
answer.
always hope. There's
Yes.
always hope. Just
Yes.
turn to God and you will find that God will get you through whatever it is you're going through
Whatever
right
it
now.
is.
You just
My
have
best friend told me the other day, because we're doing some packing, making some transitions and everything. And I think God honors transitions, by the way. I
to.
think he does. Even when a mother becomes pregnant, thank goodness, because you know, I was just really wild, crazy, hot mess.com. Thank God that when I became pregnant, I had to transition through 9 months before. I always think of pregnancy, it's a transition. God is preparing you for a new thing. Okay. And my best friend, Karen, you know, told me, she said, Shy, because I got my schedule. I start clients at 11 or do whatever at 11. And between the time I wake up and 11, that's my time. And she said, you got to do a new thing. If you're going to get all that packing and everything that you got on your plate to do, you got to do a new thing. And every morning I wake up with that. You got to do a new thing. You know, if you're not getting the results that you need, you got to do a new thing. And every day that you wake up is an opportunity to do a new thing, baby. So don't forget what they told you. You know, you God is not giving up on us.
God never gives up on us.
Never.
And that's
Never.
key there. Don't give up. Don't give up because God is not giving up on you. So just turn your life over to God. Surrender whatever it is going on in your life to Him. And look at what He did for Chai. She is all that and more. Okay? Businesswoman, entrepreneur, inventor, she's doing it all. And again, if God did it for her, if God has done things for me, God will do it for you. God is no respecter of person. So
That's
he
right.
will perform miracles in anybody's life and too for his glory because he wants the glory and he wants us to acknowledge that it's because of God and to give him the glory. And that's what you do with your life. And that's what you have said. You owe it all to God. You know that God is the one that has you where you are today.
Absolutely.
So Chai, thank you so much
Mhm.
for being my
Thank you for
special.
having me. I've
And
enjoyed, you know, as always, I'm just so glad to catch up, see your face,
I'm
girl.
telling you, it's been so long. It's been so long, and we've been
Yes,
trying to get together. But I know
yes.
you're a busy lady, and I really appreciate you making the time to spend this time with me and with our audience because I'm telling you, this is going to bless somebody today.
Amen.
And,
Praise
and
God.
folks, please go to Greatest Jesus and Me YouTube channel and subscribe now. Subscribe now. There's good stuff. And go to www.greatestjesusandme.com and read this article. Read the article that I wrote about Chai, which has to do with a little snippet of her story. And then you're also going to be on the radio and you're doing different things. So
Mhm.
I will put your stuff there on in the comments. So if
Thank you.
anybody wants to reach out to you, they can do that. And that's what we do.
Yeah, thank you. And also I encourage the audience to listen to you and check in on you daily because we need good news.
And
You
that's
know what I
what this
mean?
is about. Positive,
Yes.
positive,
Yes.
uplifting. There's enough
Yes.
bad stuff and negativity out there. God told me, He says, this needs to be positive, uplifting, encouraging,
Yes.
informative, all those good things, all the good
Yep.
things. So that's what we're doing.
Yep. Feed your mind with good stuff,
Yes.
because you wake up and you have the news on early in the morning, and that is how you start your day in a downward decline.
Right.
So thank you, Deb. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Chai. I love you.
I love you more.
So, folks, be blessed, and until next time.